I posted a video on Instagram comparing these two hairstyles and I asked my followers which they think was the easiest. And I was shocked at the one majority chose because that is quite the opposite for me. Anyways, why don't you keep on watching to find out? And by the end of this video, I will also be hearing from you which you think is the easiest so we can know where we all stand with this. Starting off with the first hairstyle, I've already done the whole moisturizing and combing out all of those things. No need bringing them in because I want this video to be very short and precise as possible. Okay, so I've done that, and right now I am sectioning, partitioning, just like these, very big, very jumbo. Like I said, these hairstyles are very easy, something you can get on with and be done with in like 30 minutes at mass. Yes, mass. I'm not even talking minimum. The mass time you can spend on each of these hairstyles is 30 minutes. So the important tools you need for these hairstyles are Afro kinky extension. I think I used Darling, I can't remember, but Afro kinky extension and Brazilian wool. Those are the two tools that are very important, very vital that you have to have while making this hair. So I started off by braiding the kinky hair onto her natural hair before I started wrapping with the thread with the Brazilian wool. And one thing you should have in mind while styling this particular one is how you want to pack the hair, like the position you want your bun to be at. If you want it to be in the middle, you have to have that at the back of your mind. If you want it to be down like low bun, you also have to consider those things before you start styling this, because that will help you to know, okay, which side are going to be longer and which which threadings are going to be longer and which ones are going to be shorter. For me, I wanted it to be in the middle, so basically the threadings that I did in the middle are kind of short. You're going to be seeing this one, I made it short because when you're packing it up, you're going to, obviously when you're packing it up, anything at the middle is gonna, I don't know how to explain, like it's not extending to anywhere. Okay, you're not stretching it to anywhere, it is just there like that. Exactly, that was why I decided to make this one here short. It's actually not as short as I would have wanted it to be, but yeah, basically you have to consider that. And the ones at the front, I made them a bit longer, even the ones down, like the last ones down. I also made them longer, and the ones in the middle, I made them shorter. This is why I said you should consider where you want your bun to be before you start making this particular style. Okay, you see how I'm trying to measure it, like I put it up to see how it's gonna fit. Yes, basically. Okay, basically. So finally I am done. This hairstyle is so easy. It is so easy. I'm basically done right now. I'm cutting out the excess threads before I lifted it up to pack it, put it into a bun. I used an elastic band for this, not like rubber band, though. No, like all those elastic band, those, that's that was what I used. You can use the thread if you don't have one, just tie it together. But I don't know how to explain. Like, threads are not um they don't slack, they are not elastic, so you might have difficulty in trying to tie. But anyways, just try to get an elastic band, not rubber band. Well, either ways, either of them. Okay, so after I was done tying it, I figured this is not as full as I would want it to be, so I took in more kinky and started tying on the threadings, like just like that. Okay, there's no trick to this, there's no corner way to this is just like very straightforward, just like that. And after that, I started trimming off the excess. Okay, I trimmed off to the best of the way I want it to look like. I don't want it to be overly full because she can go to school with it, and at the same time I don't want it to be very small that you won't notice there is a bond there, if that makes sense. So yeah, and I also went ahead to accessorize because my baby girl wanted to. She was the one giving me the accessories. She just wanted all the stuff on her hair. And yeah, basically that is it. I decided to lay down her edges, even though there was nothing much there. Anyways, I moisturized her hair, or rather, I oiled her scalp, which is very important. And guys, look at my baby girl. See how beautiful this hairstyle turned out. To think it is so easy. And yes, this was the one I thought was more easier than the next hairstyle you guys will be seeing. But some people beg to differ. Anyways, you're gonna be seeing the other one, so you can choose, so that it will not look like I'm the only delusional person here. So it will not look like I'm delusional, not only. Okay, so it will not look like I'm delusional. Anyways, here is the second hairstyle. We're starting off on a clean hair. I've done all of those things. I've moisturized. I've did every single thing that needs to be done. Like I said, I want this video to be very short and precise. So even though I just showed the pattern of that one, I did all of those off camera, and I used a yarn wool for this, which a lot of people know as yeye wool. Well, I think the right, I don't know. I just feel like I know it as yarn wool. Okay. I use Brazilian wool for the other one in case you didn't notice. So this one is yarn wool. You can use any wool of your choice. Anyways, I've already done all of those parts. So now let me show you guys how I actually did it. So I parted out the quantity I want to be working with. Not too big. In fact, it's big. Okay, this is not a situation of medium size. This is kind of the big size. Okay, and I took my what's it called, my afro kinky. Yes, we'll also be needing afro kinky for this. Braided it onto the hair just a little bit, not as much as we did with the other one, just a little bit for this. Okay, before I took in 2 strands of the yarn wool and started threading or wrapping, however way you want to put it, but not as long as well. Short. Okay, short, just long enough to be able to reach the next one, if that makes sense. Like I'll part out the next one. It had to be long enough to reach the next one. We'll not be adding any afro kinky on the next one. Like the only one you'll be adding afro kinky to is the first one. That is why you need a long afro kinky for this particular hairstyle, because once you have added it to the first one, to the one at the front, the first one, basically you will be extending it to the next, to the next, to the next, and down to the last. So you basically need long afro kinky, not as short as the afro kinky I use for the first one, the first hairstyle. I mean, that one is short. I don't know if you guys noticed, like that one was kind of short, but this one is longer because of what I just explained now. And there is something very common, in case you have not noticed, with these two hairstyles, that is the African key. These are not basic trading hairstyles. If you want your trading hairstyle to look extra, to look very classy, not too basic, because we know trading hairstyles to be very kind of very serious hairstyle. Very serious, like people that have trading, that always have trading hairstyles, or we take them very serious. They look very, I don't know, tough. Yeah, they look very tough. So but if you want your trading to look subtle, not overly serious, add Afro kinky. Okay, it's gonna switch up the whole thing and make it look more classy, not basic at all. Yeah, and that is what these two trading hairstyles have in common. And also another thing they have in common is that they are both simple, very easy to achieve. Anyways, I'm basically done, as you guys can see. So I am trying to bind this whole thing together so it can look like a bun. Okay, I use a thread to do that. That is the wool that I use to style the hair. I use that to tie together so they can be together. And after that, I realized that it's also not as full as I want it to be. So I went ahead to tie on more kinky hair onto it to get my desired size, if that makes sense. If you want it fuller, go ahead, be my guest, put as much, tie as much kinky as you can. And if you want it less, you probably might not want to tie in any kinky at all. And this is what I think I can work with. And I went ahead to start trimming it out. Very important. I trimmed out, so it can be very equal. And guys, look at my baby girl, the way she loved this hairstyle. Like she was just laughing as soon as I gave her a mirror to look at herself. She was just laughing and laughing. She loved the outcome. Do let me know which you think is the easiest. For me, the first one is the easiest, but people on Instagram said this one is the easiest, and I don't know how they came up with that math. I don't know what made them think that, but do let me know what you think between this one and the first hairstyle. Which do you think is the easiest? Do leave a comment below. And thanks guys for watching. See you all in my next one. I can feel it over here. You take up every corner of my